आत्मलिंगं भज रे अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
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 नागलिंगं नविमनिलिंगं नभिकमल उद्भावालिंगं
नागलिंगं नवमणिलिंगं नभिकमल उद्भावालिंगं
नागलिंगं नवमनिलिंगं नभिकमल उद्भावालिंगं
नागलिंगं नवमणिलिंगं नभिकमल उद्भावालिंगं
ईश्वरालिंगं भज रे परतिपुरीश्वरलिंगं भज रे
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 आत्मलिंगं भज रे अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
आत्मलिंगं भज रे अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
नागलिंगं नवमनिलिंगं नभिकमल उद्भावालिंगं
नागलिंगं नवमणिलिंगं नभिकमल उद्भावालिंगं
नागलिंगं नवमनिलिंगं नभिकमल उद्भावालिंगं
नागलिंगं नवमणिलिंगं नभिकमल उद्भावालिंगं
ईश्वरालिंगं भज रे परतिपुरीश्वरलिंगं भज रे
ईश्वरालिंगं भज रे परतिपुरीश्वरलिंगं भज रे
आत्मलिंगं भज रे अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
आत्मलिंगं भज रे अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
अद्भुतलिंगं भज रे
शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा
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 शिव शिव शम्भो हर 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 शम्भो
शिव शिव शम्भो हर 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 शम्भो
भोलनाथ शम्भो साईनाथ शम्भो भोलेनाथ शम्भो
साईनाथ शम्भो
शम्भो महादेवा शिव शम्भो महादेवा
शम्भो महादेवा शिव शम्भो महादेवा
गंगाधरा हर गंगाधरा
गंगाधरा हरे गंगाधरा
गंगाधरा हर गंगाधरा
गंगाधरा हरे गंगाधरा
हर गौरी बड़ा शंकरा गौरी बड़ा शंकरा गंगाधरा हर गंगाधरा हर गौरी बड़ा शंकरा गौरी बड़ा शंकरा शिव 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 शंभो हर 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 शंभो
शिव शिव शम्भो हर 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 शम्भो
Namaste, Sitaram, Sairam everyone. Pleasant good evening. On behalf of our host here this evening, Dr. Roopchan and family, I think it just extended that to each and every one of you as a bigger family. Welcome this evening to our satsang. And I think you all know the purpose of the satsang. Anyone could tell me? Just to enjoy. Anyways, it's Balroop Bhai's birthday, and he took this opportunity to ask each and every one of you to join this evening for a common purpose, to give thanks. To give thanks to the one who has keep us where we are today. Panditji just concluded the Bedi Puja, where he came in on the Deepak. I guess he will come shortly. And with him, he will be doing one of the instrumental this evening. With him, Dr. Roopchan, Rajesh, and all of you will clap together to enjoy the satsang this evening. On behalf of each and every one of us, let's give them a round of applause before they start. Thank you, and I think Sankhya is doing a job to keep this in perpetuity. So whenever you feel relaxed, tune into Sankhya and you'll get it live. Thank you. God bless. Sitaram.
Namaste, Sitaram, and a very warm welcome to this evening's program, which is a most significant one, as our dear brother and my friend of over 6 decades celebrates his 70th birthday. I am the eldest among them. I'm moving into 74. But it just shows us how quick time flies. And it was just in 1966, the 17th of April 1966, that we all got together as the Saraswati Kirtan Mandali in this village of Avocat. And Balroop was one of the founding members. And this year marks, of course, 56 years since we have been together singing on stages, not only in Trinidad, but across North America, Canada, and Guyana, and other parts of the Caribbean. So tonight I want to ask you to join with us as we perform Aarti to Hanumanji. Hanumanji is the Kula Dev, the family deity in this mandir, and that's why it's called Kula Devalai, the place of the family deity, Hanuman. And tonight we shall begin with Aarti to Hanuman.
रघुनाथ कला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। जाकी बले से गिरेवर कांपे, रोग दोष जाके निकट न झाके। अंजनी पुत्र महाबलदाई, संतन के प्रभु सदा सहाय। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। देवी रघुनाथ पठाए, लंका जारी सिय सुधिलाए। लंका सकोत समुद्र सिखाए, जात पवन सुख बारन आए। लंका जारी सुर संहारे, सिया राम जी के काज सवारे। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। लक्ष्मण मूरचित परे सखारे, आनि संजीवन प्राण उबारे। पैथी पताल तोर जमकारे, अहि रावण की बुझा उछारे। भाले भुजा सुर दल मारे, सिया राम जी के काज सवारे। आरती की है हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। सुर नर मुनि आरती उतारे, आरती उतारे प्रभु आरती उतारे। सुर नर मुनि आरती उतारे, जय 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 हनुमान उचारे। कंचन थार कपूर लोछाई, आरती करत अंजना माई। जो हनुमान जी की आरती गावे, बसी वैकुंठ परम पद पावे। आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की, आरती की जय हनुमान लला की। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं, जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं। वातात्मजं वानरयूक्तमुख्यं, श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं, तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं। बाष्पावरि परिपूर्णलोचनं, मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं। हरि ओम सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी, भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायने। मंत्रामूर्ति सदा देवी, Mahalakshmi Namostute, Mahalakshmi Namostute. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gajananam Bhutaganaadisevitam Kapittajambu Phalasaribhakshanam Umasutam Shoka Vinashikarikam Namami Vigneshware Parapankajam Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada.
Thank you for this beautiful garland, Balroop. My dear brothers and sisters, again, Sitaram and Panditji, Pandit Deepak, a very warm welcome to our mandir, and thank you once again for a very beautiful puja to begin this evening's satsang. I really want again to welcome you to this small facility, which, as Panditji said, is a tribute to all our ancestors. And if you look around the walls, you'll see my Aja and Aji, Nana, Nani, and all members of our family who have departed. Maybe one day my picture will be here too, who knows. But on behalf of Nandini, Ranjana and our family, we welcome you. Today, my brothers and sisters, is not just any day. Today is a significant day. Not just an important day, it's a significant day. This event is not just another satsang. It is significant because all of us have gathered very lovingly to pay tribute and to honor a remarkable and a distinguished person, a human being in the true sense of the word, on the occasion of his 70th birthday. I want to ask you to join me in a round of applause for our dear brother, Balroop. Balroop is a friend, he's a father, he's a husband, and he's now a grandfather. And wherever Satya and Pavi are with little grandson, I'm sure they would like me, Balroop, to extend through my voice special greetings to you. For me, it is over 6 decades that I have known Balroop, known his parents and his family, including his brothers, against whom we played some losing cricket matches in the Jheel in St. John Street. Balroop's parents, by their vision, guided their children and demonstrated that poverty and deprivation is not a barrier to progress, whether it be secular progress or whether it be spiritual progress. Balroop's parents, Roopchan and Dolly, worked hard, as you probably all know, and toiled tirelessly to ensure a brighter future for their children. Balroop never faltered to ensure that the vision of his father and mother would be realized. He worked alongside his parents whilst educating himself, building a noble and exemplary career of 41 years in the public service, but at the same time developing himself spiritually alongside his very loving and supportive wife son Amar, and daughters Nirvi and Pavi. It is rare in this world to find an individual who can work in a secular organization, earning to feed and support his family and by extension his community, but at the same time focusing upon his own spiritual development. That kind of balance is rare for an individual. And over the last 30 years in particular, I have seen Balroop strive ceaselessly to develop himself along his spiritual goals. I take the liberty to say that Balroop sacrificed perhaps his own chance for university education so that his brothers and other members of the family could be supported in their quest for educating themselves. My dear brothers and sisters, in the Hindu tradition, there's a term that is called vasanas. Vasanas are our unfulfilled desires in our last life. And in the case of Balroop, it is my fervent belief that in his last life, Balroop was striving spiritually. And he had left the world at that time with unfulfilled vasanas, the majority of which was a desire for a life of spirituality and devotion to God. And in this incarnation of his, he brought these vasanas, and his actions are dedicated towards their expression and realization. It is said that when the Atma leaves the body, for when the body can no longer serve the purpose of the Atma in that particular incarnation, these unfulfilled desires propel the Atma to take on another form, a physical form, whether it be human or otherwise, so that these desires can be fulfilled. And in my heart, I have no doubt, given even my limited understanding of human existence, of karma and reincarnation, that in his last life, Balroop was a spiritually evolved being, soul, and therefore the Lord bestowed upon him the gift of a human body to continue his journey of self-discovery. And this has been manifested in his devotional life for over 50 years. Whether it be the Ganesh Puja at the Avocat temple, whether it be as a drummer or devotional singer in the Saraswati Kirtan Mandali, whether it as a spiritual leader in the Atma Gyan Mandir, and in a host of myriad of community activities, all of which have always encompassed for Balroop the development of people. Whether it was as a fast bowler in cricket, for which sport his family is well known, or a leader of a workplace team, Balroop has been exceptional. Exceptional. He has always put others first, before himself. He has put his community's interests also first. Brothers and sisters, tonight I want to tell you a little story about Balroop and his humility. It's a moving story for me. Because the humility of Balroop is such that I never believed that a person can be so humble. Although we were friends for all of these 30 or 40 years, traveling the country every Thursday and Saturday in satsangs, singing bhajans and kirtan, there's one incident that defined Balroop's character for me. In 2010, I had been appointed as the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Trinidad and Tobago. And I didn't know at that time that Balroop was in the accounting division as an account executive in the ministry. I'd always remembered Balroop being in forestry and being in agriculture. I never realized this, nor did Balroop ever bring it to my attention that he was working in the same ministry, one floor below my floor. Until one day, the permanent secretary, after about 9 months in office, Mrs. Parallon, told me, but you have a very good friend who is a very good Hindu, and he's always involved in our Diwali activities and so on. I said, who's that? She said, Mr. Roopchan. Mr. Roopchan. And it was after 9 months that I realized that Balroop was working in the same ministry. But the point about that is this. Balroop never used his friendship with me, no matter how intimate that friendship was, for over 40 years, to exalt himself in the ministry. Nor did he ever ask for a favor for himself, for me. That is the definition of character of Balroop. And this is how I know Balroop, as a humble man, a decent person, a decent human being. Brothers and sisters, tonight I want to define Balroop. In one incident describes the humility of Balroop. And this incident that describes the humility of Balroop that I just referred to reminds me of another incident in the life of Hanumanji. And this incident occurs where Hanumanji and others were discussing as to how the ocean that separated India from the southern tip of India, from Lanka, could be bridged. And in the discussion, Panditji, everyone came up and they actually declined because they felt that they were not sufficiently competent. Some said, perhaps I could reach there, but I don't know whether I can, in fact, fly back. And Hanumanji, while each one was indicating his or her inability to make that trip, Hanumanji sat silently, very, very silently in a corner. Very silently, not saying anything. And it was Jambavan, the great bear, who when he saw Hanumanji sitting so silently, reminded Hanumanji, reminded him of his strength and capabilities. So humble was Hanuman. And I, in preparing this discourse tonight, also thought about Balroop in the same way. I thought about him in the same way. And these are the verses from Ramcharit Manas. कहरिचि शेष सुनहु हनुमाना का चुप साधी रहे हूँ बलवाना पवन तनय बल पवन समाना बुद्धि विवेक विज्ञान निधाना कवन सो काजुक थिन जग माही जो नहीं तात होई तुम पाही राम काज लगे तव अवतारा हे पवन कुमारा राम काज लगे तव अवतारा हे पवन कुमारा कहरी
नीचे सुनहु हनुमाना, का चुप सादी रहे हूँ बलवाना, पवन तनया बल पवन समाना, बुद्धि विवेक ज्ञान निधाना, कवन सो काजु कठिन जग माही, जो नहीं तात हो ही तुम ताही, राम काज लगी तव अवतारा, हे पवन कुमारा, राम काज लगी तव अवतारा, हे पवन कुमारा।
राम काज लगी तव अवतारा, पवन कुमारा. My dear friends, what is this incident all about? Everyone was talking about his inability to cross this vast ocean. And Hanumanji was sitting very quietly in a corner. Very quietly. He wasn't there boasting about his skills. He didn't enter the conversation. And the king of the bears, Jamavan, then turned towards Hanuman and said, "Listen, O mighty Hanuman, why do you remain silent? You who are so valorous, you who are so strong, you are the son of the wind and strong as your father. You are a storehouse of intelligence, discretion, and spiritual wisdom. Tell me, Hanuman, tell me, Kavana so kaju katina jagamahi, jo nahi tat hoi tumha pahi. Tell me what undertaking is there in this world, my friend, that is too difficult for you to accomplish. For it is to serve Rama's purpose that you have come down upon earth." I repeat that. Tell me what is so difficult for you to accomplish, my friend. For it is to serve Rama's purpose that you have come down on earth. Rama kaj lagitava avatara. Sunata hi bhayu paravatakara. And hearing these words, he grew to the size of a mountain. And it was at that point that Hanuman spoke of his ability to go and find out about Sita and even rescue her, if in fact he was asked to rescue her. But then, even as he was talking about himself, he checked himself and he turned to Jamavan and said, "Please give me sound advice. What do you think I should be doing?" And Jamavan said, "All you have to do, my friend, is go and see Sita and bring back news of her. And then the lotus-eyed Ram will recover her by the might of his own arm." My dear friends, I refer to this incident because this is Balroop. Rama kaj lagitava avatara. Avatara means the descent of the Lord into a seemingly human form. The Lord descends as avatar so that man can rise. The Lord descends so man can rise. Because the Lord, by his example, points out to us the lifestyle we should live, the values we should adopt, the behaviors we should have, the daya we should have for others, the prema we should have for others, the satyam we should speak. Rama kaj lagitava avatara. And for me, I sincerely tell you that Balroop understands the purpose of his human existence. He understands it. He understands that his purpose, just like Hanuman, is to serve Ram. Manava seva, Madhava seva. By serving his community, by serving other human beings, by serving all life forms, he serves God. Brothers and sisters, Balroop has chosen the theme gratitude for this particular celebration of his 70th birthday. And the word for gratitude that I have found is dhanyavad. Thank you. Dhanyavad. What is dhanyavad? Very much when somebody gives us something, we say dhanyavad. Thank you. But dhanya means blessings, means prosperity, means happiness, means good fortune. And vad indicates speech. So dhanyavad therefore literally means to speak of one's happiness, to speak of one's prosperity, to speak of one's blessings, to speak of one's good fortune that has been caused by another. It is not simply to say thank you, but that thank you has a myriads of other expressions. It means to speak of one's happiness, one's prosperity, one's blessings, one's good fortune that has been caused by another. Dhanyavad, gratitude, or thank you, is an acknowledgement of the contribution of another to one's happiness. And this is what Balroop wants to celebrate today. This is what Balroop wants to celebrate today. This evening, as much as Balroop is expressing gratitude to God for the gift of the birth as a human being, to parents, to teachers, to ancestors for their sacrifices, to his spiritual teachers also, to his friends for their support, to his family for their love. We are also here to express gratitude to Balroop, to Oma, and the family for their gifts to the community. So we are also saying Dhanyavad. We are also saying Dhanyavad. You see, my friends, for gratitude to become a value in the life of a person, for gratitude to become a natural expression of a person's behavior or lifestyle, such a person must develop an awareness of the many expressions of love and assistance which he or she receives on a daily basis. And without this awareness, gratitude will not be practiced. Every moment of life, someone is doing something for us. We may not even meet or see that person, but somebody is doing something for us. A doctor who is a heart surgeon is often described as giving life to a person. But that doctor would be nothing if there wasn't someone to teach him how to do that surgery. Or if there was not someone who invented the heart-lung machine so the patient could be transferred onto the heart-lung machine during the surgery. Our success in life depends on the contributions of myriads of other people who we will never meet at all in life. And this is what Dhanyavad is all about. People are affecting our lives every day. So Balroop, you have chosen the right theme. For 70 years, when you look back, you yourself will realize how many moments of thankfulness you will probably have to express. And we will see how much we have to express to you also, Balroop. So, brothers and sisters, having elaborated on this theme of Dhanyavad, I want to share a bhajan with you. And I've chosen this bhajan, Balroop, because I know the love you had for your parents, and particularly for your mom, who was very proud of you and who followed you all over. She would sit down with a smile on her face, a tremendous smile on her face when you sang. And for me, as she would sit there in the front row of the temple, almost every time in a white dress, an emblem of serenity, the same serenity you have inherited, Balroop. Tonight I dedicate this song to the ancestors, particularly your parent. Take the blessings of your parents. And when you do so, you will relieve the bundle of sins you carry on your head. Because your eyes were opened in the lap of your mother, You saw the reality of the world by climbing on your father's shoulder. The greatest savor you can give is to serve them. For the sake of your mother and father, you must bear a little inconvenience. It is your duty to serve them. Never regard what you do for them as an act of kindness, because you have a debt on your head towards your parents. You are not giving them charity nor gift. It is an act of service. And whoever touches the feet of the parents with reverence will realize the four fruits of human life. Blessings which when they give are kama, dharma, moksha. Not even Bhagwan can deprive you of it. सर से उतरेंगे गठरी, पाप की ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की, ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की. सर से उतरेंगे गठरी, पाप की ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की, ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की. माँ की आँख खुली जग देखा बाप के कांधे झर के. गोद में माँ की आँख खुली जग देखा बाप के कांधे झर के. सेवा बड़ी न होगी कोई, इन दोनों की सेवा से भर के ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की, ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की. सर से उतरेंगे घरेली पाप की, ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की, ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की. दुख सहना माँ बाप के खातिर फर्ज तो है एहसान नहीं. दुख सहना माँ बाप के खातिर फर्ज तो है एहसान नहीं. कर्ज है इनका तेरे सर पर, भिक्षा या कोई दान नहीं. ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की, ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की. सर से उतरेंगे गठरी पाप की, ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की, ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की. In my heart that because of the way Balroop has served his parents, that Balroop has been blessed with artha, with kama, with dharma and moksha, and he will continue to prosper, because once your parents bless you like this, not even God, it says in this bhajan, can take away those blessings. माता पिता की चरण छुए जो चार धाम तीरथ फल पावे. माता पिता की चरण छुए जो चार धाम तीरथ फल पावे. जो आशीष दिल से दे भगवान से भीता लेना जाए, भगवान से भीता लेना जाए. ले लो दुआएं माँ बाप की, ले लो So Balroop, we have talked about your ancestors. We have given praise to them. We have said thank you to them. But Balroop, there is another incident in the Ramayana that speaks about gratitude. And our scriptures teach us about gratitude through example. And in one of the most emotionally moving incidents that I have found in Ramayana, Panditji, I tell you, Hanuman on his return from Lanka, having located Sita, he had, of course, comforted her and conveyed to her a message of hope and love from Ram. And upon his return, he reported to Ram the details of Sita's condition, and he delivered a message from Sita to Ram. And for the first time since she was abducted, Bhagwan Sri Ram learnt about Sita's condition. And it is said, the tears filled his eyes. The words of Hanuman and the images created by the words of Hanuman had such a powerful impact upon Bhagwan Sri Ram that he began to cry. And then he said to Hanuman something really, really very important. What are those words of Bhagwan Sri Ram to Hanuman? Because they have relevance to what I want to say also about Balroop. Tulsidas sings. Jaya Ram Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Ram Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. उपकार करहु का तोरा सन्मुख होई न सकत मन मोरा प्रति उपकार करहु का तोरा सन्मुख होई न सकत मन मोरा जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. सुनु सुत तो ही उरु नहीं नाही देखहु करी विचार मन माहे सुनु सुत तो ही उरी मैं नाही देखहु करी विचार मन माहे जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. पुनि पुनि कपिहि तव सुर काता लोचन नीर पुलक अति गाता पुनि पुनि कपिहि तव सुर काता लोचन नीर पुलक अति गाता जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. Hanumanji had come back, and his words created images that made Bhagwan Sri Ram cry. Made him cry. He loved his wife, just like Balroop loves Uma, Uma loves Balroop, and they have lived a very fruitful and beautiful life. Always standing at the side of each other. Very remarkable. Listen, Hanuman, he said, no one has served me like you. What service can I now do for you in return? No one has served me like you have done. What service can I do for you in return? And when I think of it, said Bhagavan Sri Ram, he says, I'm unable to even look you in the face. But upon reflection, my son, I've come to the conclusion that I will never be able to repay you for the service you have given to me. Rama looked at Hanumanji when Hanuman spoke like this. His body trembled with emotion. His eyes filled with tears. And this, is one of the several occasions when Ram expressed gratitude to someone who served him. How many of us ever take the trouble to lovingly express gratitude to someone who has served us? There's a recollection in my mind of Balroop as a cricketer. I believe the Vijay Sports Club. The Vijay Sports Club. And that ground you see there behind the temple, there's a big hill at the back of it. And Balroop had a desire to widen that ground and didn't know how it was going to happen. I happened to be a minister then, even in the government. And Balroop, I heard him speaking about it. And I said, Balroop, we will make this possible. And Balroop, through the club, took a contract on behalf of the club for $22,000. And was able to widen that ground, cut down the hill, and make that into the lovely cricket ground that it was. How many in that community have ever stood up to say, Balroop, thank you? Because Balroop wouldn't like me to tell these stories. Balroop wouldn't like me to tell you the story when he brought his uncle Jagmohan about 7 years ago. And his uncle Jagmohan said, for 20, 30 years we have been trying to get a community center in St. John Trees. Can you help us now that you're in office? Balroop brought him. And we built that activity center. And Balroop and Uma was looking after that center. And it became a center of learning, a center of meeting. People were gaining skills and everything else. How many of us know the work that Balroop was doing in that activity center with Oma in that village? And then one day someone accused me and said I had built that and given it to my friend Balroop. And you know what was the response of Balroop? Balroop is not attached to anything. Balroop and Oma walked away. Because Balroop knew that all his duty was to serve, to give, to construct, so that people can be empowered. And he walked away. And the story of that remains a very sad story right now. But that's the man. He wouldn't fight for nothing. Like Hanumanji, he served because it was his duty to serve. Rama taught by his example that we must always be generous with the skills we have, but more so generous with our acknowledgement of even the smallest act of service. Even, when Bhagavan Sri Ram, towards the end of the Ramayana, Panditji, he called his friends before they returned to their homes, and he called them together. He expressed his thankfulness. Tulsidas says, most lovingly, he seated them by his side. He addressed them in gentle words. Very great is the service you have done for me, but how can I praise you to your faces? You renounce your homes, your comforts, solely on my account. Therefore, you have endeared yourselves to me. I know, Nandini knows, how many times Balroop sacrificed his own family to be in satsang, leaving his 2 little children home. I know how many times Balroop sacrificed his cricketing career in order to be in satsang, so that people could be joyous. I can speak about that, Rajesh, with authority. But I speak it tonight. I speak it tonight because I think we must always remember the good things people have done. And I'm using Balroop's 70th birthday to thank him for all that he has done for the community of Avocat, little of which is known. I know when Balroop was working in the Ministry of Public Utilities, he went to the then Minister Panoply Beckles. And it was on Balroop's insistence and his request that St. John Trace got a bigger water line. Was it 6-inch? 4-inch water line on Balroop. This community doesn't know that. But I know that. You see how much there's to thank people for that we do. But why am I saying this? Because I'm talking about Hanuman. I'm praising Balroop like a Hanuman. Because he did all of this not wanting anything in return. And our village is full of people like that. Full of people like that. You have, Krishya, the Roopchan family. And Krishya is doing good work. Kim Chan is doing good work. Everyone is doing good work. But we have to take the time to thank people and remember to thank them for the good work they are doing. Brothers and sisters, Ganesh Puja has been a facet of this community of Avocat for over 60-something years. And there were the days when the murti was made by a gentleman called Sidhu. And from that era, when Balroop was a very young man, I'm talking about now the late 60s Balroop and 70s, Balroop, together with some of the members of this group who have gone, Mighty, Mac, and others who are still here, Manik, Hema, Doda, and others, together with my mom, they will gather to ensure that Ganesh festival took place every year and was successful. Balroop dedicated himself to that also. Putting the murti on his own back and diving into the river also with other friends when it went back there. Brothers and sisters, that Ganesh, Lord Ganesh, has blessed this community and has blessed Balroop for his selfless service. And hence tonight I now invite Balroop in his own voice to sing the praises of Bhagwan Ganesh in one of the bhajans that he has entered in my heart, Gaye Ganapati Jagavandan.
Shankara Suvana Bhavani Nandana Shankara Suvana Bhavani Nandana Gaye Ganapati Jagavandana Gaye Ganapati Jagavandana Ganapati गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
गाये गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
मोढक प्रिय मुर मंगल दाता
मोदक प्रिय मुर मंगल दाता
मोढक प्रिय गणनाथ गणनाथ मोढक प्रिय मुद मंगल दाता विद्यावारिधि बुद्धि विधाता विद्यावारिधि बुद्धि विधाता
विद्यावानिधि बोध विधाता
गाये गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
गाये गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोड़ी
मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोरी
मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोड़ी
मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोरी
बस ही सिया राम मन मोरे
सही सिया राम
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
शंकर सुवर्ण भवानी नंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
गाये गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
गाये गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन For over 20 years, Balroop was an integral member of the Sunday morning service at the Avocat Hindu temple. And for about 22 years, we conducted service there. And there's an interesting thing I'll tell you about that service. We started with not even knowing how to do Sandhya Puja. And in that community, there were the Arya Samajas and the Sanatanists. So they always used to have, this little division, Arya Samajas and Sanatanists. But do you know this is a very special community? There's a gentleman who is the name of Pandit Dhaniram, the former principal of the Avocat Vedic School. And his mother and father, who were founding members of the Arya Samaj movement in Siparia Road here, together with the Prasad family over the road for the temple, they came and taught us to do Sankhya, Puja, which we used to do every morning in the temple. And us Sanatanists were taught by them. I tell you that story because it is very special to me in this community that we were able to share, although we had different, a religious base, if you may, or beliefs, if you may, but we were helping each other. Balroop was part of all of that. Unfortunately, and these are some of the stories, Balroop, I don't like to tell, but I think they are historic. Unfortunately, we were kicked out of that temple after 22 years. We had spent a lot of money, myself, my dad, Sugrim Sahadev, Balroop, and Mighty and Son, and we had repaired the temple and everything else. And one Sunday morning, we were just told we couldn't conduct service there again. And we gracefully exited the temple. Gracefully exited. No arguments, nothing. We just gracefully exited the temple. But Balroop, it's interesting that Balroop was not distraught. I might have been distraught. But you know what? Balroop was not distraught. It is said you must trust God. You must have faith in God. Because if God closes one door for you, it is because He's opening another one for you, and another one for you, and another one for you. It is said that you must never look at the experience you are having as an experience that pulls you down or depresses you. You must look at it as a learning experience and continue to have faith in God. And one of the verses me and Balroop have shared over and over, which I follow, and I know Balroop follows also, is a verse from Bhagavad Gita. And the verse from Bhagavad Gita says as follows. It says that if you have complete faith and trust in me, Lord Krishna was speaking to Arjuna, he says, if you have complete faith and trust in me, and you don't deviate with that faith and trust, whether it's, in happiness or sorrow, in joy or sadness, but you have that firm faith in me and me alone, I'll do two things for you. I will secure the things that you now have, but I also bring you the things that you wish. Bring you the things that you wish. And little did perhaps Balroop realize that a big door had opened up for him. A very, very big door. And that God was going to bring for him the things that he probably never knew he wanted. But I spoke about those vasanas that he had brought into this life. The vasanas for spiritual growth and so on. But if you trust God, He will show you the path. He will guide you to what He has chosen for you. And Balroop went to St. John's Street and activated the Atma Gyan temple, which today is a very beautiful temple in St. John's Street. Balroop's work and intervention in the St. John's Street temple came at a time when many young men in that community were becoming drug addicts. He mobilized his community to stem the tide of that addiction and to bring young people back into the fold. Atma Gyan Mandir, which Balroop has led for all of these years, has helped to mold the lives of many young men and women towards academic success, while keeping a healthy balance with their cultural and religious traditions. There is no doubt in my mind, Balroop, about that. The extent to which you have been able to mold the lives of people in that community. I remember attending some functions there where Balroop every year would get together all the achievers in the village and will give them gifts and plaques and so on. That's a very bright community, a community of very bright children, some of whom won scholarships. Even Balroop's brother is a renowned physician. Dr. Bodu, another renowned physician and member of parliament. But Balroop pulled back a lot of people whose lives would have been destroyed, Panditji. And he held on to his community and he worked for that. There's a bhajan I'm going to ask Balroop to sing tonight. But before he sings that bhajan, I want to refer to one final verse, Balroop, of the Ramayana. Because I think this verse of the Ramayana will speak about your work and your belief in God and in trusting God. कहु कपिरावन पालित लंका केहि विधि दे दूर गति पंका कहु कपिरावन पालित लंका केहि विधि दे दूर गति पंका जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय प्रसन्न जाना हनुमाना बोल वचन विगत अभिमाना जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
साख मृग कई बाधि मनसाए साखत साख परा जाए जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम नाघि सिन्नुहा तापुर जारा निशिचर गण बधी विपिन उजारा जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम सो सब ताव प्रताप रघुराए नाथ न कछु मोरी प्रभुताए सो सब तव प्रताप रघुराए नाथ न कछु मोरी प्रभुताए जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. If you have faith in God, God will show you the path. But what is the nature of that faith? Where does your strength come from? And you'll see, and I believe this is true of Balroop, what I'm going to be saying here, of Hanuman's experience. When Hanuman came back from Lanka, he was asked by Ram, tell me, Hanuman, how could you contrive to burn Ravan's stronghold of Lanka, a most impregnable fortress? And Hanuman, when he found the Lord so gracious, in fact, in actually complimenting him for destroying Ravan's fortress, he replied to Sri Ram. And Tulsidas is careful. Bole vachana bigata abhimana. Without abhiman. Without any ego. But humbly. He replied very humbly. He said, Ram, a monkey's greatest strength lies in his ability to skip from one branch to another branch. But that I should have been able to cross the ocean, burn the golden city, leap across the ocean, slay the demons, was not due to my strength, Lord. It was due to you. It was due to you. Raghunathji, in no way was the strength my own, O Lord. So, Sabatapa Pratapa Tava Pratapa Raghurai, Natana Kachumori Prabhutai. And then, he told Bhagavan Sri Ram, he says, Bhagavan, nothing is unattainable to him who enjoys your favor. Nothing is unattainable to him who enjoys your favor. This is Balroop. Balroop's strength comes from his deep belief in God, his deep faith in God, his unshakable faith in God, his uncompromising devotion to God, which is expressed, as I was showing you there, in this myriads of activities in which his whole life is centered on developing people and helping people. And Bhagavan Sri Ram was then willing to give to Hanumanji anything Hanuman wanted. He says, ask for anything you want, I'll give it to you. Krishna, you know what Hanumanji asked for? He says, Lord, Nata bhagati ati sukhadayani, dehu kripa kari anapayani. Be blessed, O Lord, to grant me unceasing devotion. For I know that if I have the gift of devotion, that is the source of the highest bliss and strength that I will need. And when the Lord heard this spotless, humble speech of Hanuman, Eva mastu taba kahe o Bhavani, O Parvati, O Bhavani, Shiva was related to Parvati, O Bhavani, the Lord said, so be it, so be it. I have come to love a bhajan that Balroop sings so beautifully, so beautifully. And I will ask Balroop to sing this bhajan. And it is a bhajan that speaks about what you should do now rather than wait to do. And the first verse of the song says that, if you see someone thirsty and you cannot give them water now, why do you wait to pour water for them after they have gone from the world? If you read all the scriptures and you elaborate on them, what use of it if you cannot practice an iota of it? It's a very beautiful song. And Balroop, Kabhi Pyas.
कभी प्यास को पानी पिलाया नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या पैदा। कभी प्यास को पानी पिलाया नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या पैदा। कभी गिरते हुए को उठाया नहीं, बाद आंसू बहाने से क्या पैदा। कभी प्यास को पानी।
प्यास को पानी पिलाए नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा। If you cannot give water to thirsty people, what's the use of later giving them holy water or medicine when they can know it of no value to them? And in the second verse that Balroop is about to sing, and it characterizes Balroop's life. If you never helped anyone and you just kept on watching their sorrows, what is the use of crying when that moment to help them has been lost forever?
मैं तो मंदिर गया, पूजा आरती की, पूजा करते हुए ख्याल आ गया। की सेवा की ही नहीं, सिर्फ पूजा के करने से क्या फायदा।
कभी प्यास को पानी पिलाया नहीं, और अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा।
कभी गिरते हुए को उठाया नहीं, बाद आंसू बहाने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यास को पानी।
मैं तो मंदिर गया पूजा आरती की. I went to the temple. I have gone to all places of worship. I sang bhajans while chanting one day, while singing in the temple. I thought, what did I think? That I was doing all of this, but I have never really been helping others. So what's the use of making all these offerings to the Lord in the form of the murtis? But the Lord seated in the hearts of all beings, I am making no offerings to them by way of charity, by way of love.
मैं तो सत्संग गया गुरुवाणी सुनो, गुरुवाणी को सुनकर ख्याल आ गया। मैं तो सत्संग गया गुरुवाणी सुनी, गुरुवाणी के सुनकर ख्याल आ गया। जन्म मानव के लेखे दया ना करी, सिर्फ मानव खिलाने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यास को पानी
पिलाया नहीं, बाद अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा।
कभी गिरते हुए को उठाया नहीं, बाद आंसू बहाने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यास को पानी। मैंने दान किया, मैंने जप तक किया, दान करते हुए ख्याल आ गया। मैंने दान किया, मैंने जप तक किया, दान करते हुए ख्याल आ गया। कभी भूखे को भोजन खिलाया नहीं, दान लाखों के करने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यास को पानी पिलाया नहीं, और अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा। कभी गिरते हुए को उठाया नहीं, बाद आंसू बहाने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यास को पानी। गंगन हने हरिद्वार काशी गया, गंगन हरे के मन में गया लग गया। गंगा नहने हरिद्वार काशी गया, गंगा नहते ही मन में ख्याल आ गया। संख बोधोय नगर मन को नहीं, सिर्फ गंगा के नहने से क्या फायदा। कभी प्यास को पानी
पिलाया नहीं, और अमृत पिलाने से क्या फायदा।
कभी प्यास को पानी। कभी प्यास को पानी, कभी प्यास को पानी.
So I'm coming close to the end of my tribute to Balroop and and describing him, in terms of how Bhagwan Sri Ram saw Hanuman. This is how I see him. So there are two little things again I want to talk about. And I go back to the year 1974, the 10th of April 1974. On the 10th of April 1974, together with Balroop and a couple of us, we started to sing Sai Bhajans across this country. In fact, our group was the first group that really went across this country singing the bhajans of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. And we started on Thursdays, and we used to have satsangs at the home of Mr. Chailu Ruplal Singh in Marabella. And then we went to Patiram Trees and all those other areas. But we went all across Trinidad. From Mayaro to Diego Martin, you name it, we were all over this country. And the demand for satsangs was so great, everybody wanted this satsang at their home, that we now had to do satsangs on Saturdays also, on Saturdays. And at that time, I was a lecturer at UWI, and Balroop was living in Port of Spain during the week, and he would come home on weekends, and he lived on Woodford Street. He and about 10 friends had rented a house because he was working in Port of Spain. I want to tell you how this man loved his bhajans and how devoted he was. I would leave St. Augustine or Ruka where I lived, and I would go and pick up Balroop in Port of Spain after work. But listen to this. Balroop loved his cricket. And Balroop could have been a national player like his other brothers, because he used to be practicing along with the big players in the Queen's Park Savannah. But he would leave. I would arrive and he would rush, I tell you. Sometimes he will be coming in the car with a sandwich in his hand, and he'll be eating and a Coke in the other hand, and we are going to satsang. This is true thing. This is a real. And Balroop was then not a singer, Balroop was then a dholak player. He was a dholak player. And Balroop learned to sing while he was playing dholak. And Balroop is perhaps one of the few persons I know, and I probably only know about two others, who can sing and play the dholak at the same time. And we went and we traversed the country like this for all these years. And Balroop received the special blessings of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Very, very special blessings. On another occasion, I've already told you the blessings I received from Satya Sai Baba and how I received it. But Balroop received a special blessings along with his friend, Mighty, God bless his soul, who was gone. And tonight, this is the only thing I told Balroop what this satsang will have. He didn't know what I was going to say. He was unaware of that. But I want to ask Balroop in his own words to tell you that experience he had with Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. In the lagoon.
So put me on a spot here. It's just that when you are spiritually inclined and when you have that desire to grow in that spirituality that you so desire in your life, for me, many things will come, and it come at a time when I think I most needed it. And my brothers are here. We all grew up together, rearing the cows and so on in the lagoon area. And Mighty was one of my dearest friends. Many of you know Mighty, Devnath Ramnarayan. And he also had cows in the lagoon area, deep down, what we used to call Big Jeel. And I accompanied him. There was great flooding at that time, and the whole of the lagoon area was like a sea when you look at it. And long ago, the parents and so on, we used to make those what we call bukka with the grass that we would pull out and to clean the rice lands and so on. And amidst all of this water, that was existing around us, waist-high water I'm telling you about. And there was a certain buka there, and my eyes fell upon a book. So I went and I fetched this book, and when I look at it, the book on the cover marked Bhajans of Sai Baba. I had heard of Sai Baba before, Suraj, when we went to Guyana. That's the first time I heard about Sai Baba, but it never really struck me that he was the avatar. And I got this book, and I looked at it. I had now started to sing one or two bhajans in the group, playing, as Sur said, the dholak and so on. And I took that book home. I showed it to my friend Mighty, and he said, you know, you keep it. I still have that book home, and I can show it to you all, anybody who would desire to see it. And it was purely with Sai Bhajans, 108 Sai Bhajans. And what was more amazing and really awestruck to me that that night when I went to sleep, I had a dream. And that dream was that, you all know where my mom lived, the little the hill to climb to get to her home. And on the right side of that hill, there was a satsang of a gathering of all who were attending in white. And I was sitting there in the front row, and Baba was teaching. He was actually teaching in the normal way that he would. And he looked at me and he called me. You know, he pointed and he said, come. And he said to me that you would be one of those that will continue to sing my glories. So I pranam, I bowed at his feet, and I went back and sat down. And when I woke up the next day, it was truly a revelation. I think that instant, that dream that I had really brought an awakening as to what a true spiritual life really would mean to you. And I grew in that. I grew in strength. I grew in faith. I grew in seva, in service to others. And I think that was my greatest inspiration since then. And that would have been more than 40-something years ago. But it is not about me. We all have, we have that divine inclination. And as Sur said, whatever you desire in your life will come. It may not come at the time when you so wish. But if you have that faith in God like Shivadi and like Hanuman and like Vibhishan, surely it will come to you when it is due to you. And God, in so many ways, bless us, He graces us, and He continues to do that every moment in our lives. And one has to introspect in oneself to really analyze, because nobody will take you across that journey of life except you, and what you do, what you involve in, what you give back to society. You cannot reach Godhead without serving humanity. And that is, I think, that is Baba's fundamental teaching. Love all, serve all. And of course, that is the way to God. And that was my revelation. I mean, we were involved in so many satsangs years before. And I must say that my awakening really in spirituality came also through the teachings of who we say is our guru, and that is Professor Anand Rambachan, the brother of Suraj. And in our early years, we had the opportunity to sit at his feet, and over 21 days of yajna, Vedantic philosophy. It gives you an awakening and an understanding and a clarification of how to see yourself in God's world and what is your real purpose. And I think that is what inspires me most of all. What I do and what I may continue to do, I do it selflessly and unconditionally. I don't look back for anything. But my way of life is to give back gratitude. And hence, as we all know that Suraj erected this particular mandir, Kuladeva Laya, is a place for gratitude. I could have had the same function at my home or at the temple where I've spent more than 25 years at this time. But I choose here, and I think it was Suraj's desire also that I would celebrate my 70th birthday here. And so, if I were to ask you one question tonight, and that would be for you to answer it yourself, how many of us, before we leave this life of ours, would be able to repay in gratitude the debts that we owe to so many who have contributed to our lives? And that is my message, true gratitude. How many of us, we will never be able in this life's journey to fulfill that debt that we owe to others in gratitude. Parents, ancestors, teachers, siblings, whoever they may be. We must always be conscious and be mindful of what others have done for us. And this is our duty to give back to society through humanity. Suraj?
Thank you, Balroop. But it's a really wonderful story. Who would have thought, that you will find his bhajan book, and then in the night Baba comes and teaches you. And what Balroop didn't tell you is what was the bhajan is a Shiv bhajan, and the day after was Shivratri. And Baba came and taught him that bhajan the night before Shivratri, which he will now sing for us.
And this is a bhajan that after I was given this opportunity to create these bhajans on my own, many years after in Puttaparthi in India, this bhajan was being sung in Baba's ashram. Atmalingam bhajre, adbhutalingam bhajre.
Atmalingam bhajre, adbhutalingam bhajre.
Atmalingam bhajre, adbhutalingam bhajre.
And so we have come virtually to the end of this tribute. Dhanyavad. Balroop wanted to give gratitude to others. Balroop, but we are renaming gratitude to you. Dhanyavad to Balroop. But where do I leave this satsang tonight, Balroop? Where do I leave it? What words of advice can I share with you? I pondered hard. You came and saw me in my porch today, and you actually asked me where my mind was. And I was sitting there, and it took me, Balroop, a long time to write this particular discourse tonight, because I really wanted to tell you how much I love you, and how much our family loves you, how important you are to us. And so I went to search something that was taught to me, and which I've adopted in my life a very, very long time ago. And I went back to a little booklet and to the date Wednesday, 24th of July, 2002. 20 years ago. And I was taught the meaning of the word prasad. Prasad. And prasad comes from the root word prasada, which means to grow clear and bright, and to become tranquil, satisfied, pleased, happy. So prasada therefore means purity, brightness, calmness, or serenity. But prasada also indicates a gift or a favor. And in the specific context of our worship, prasad is used to refer to that which we receive after the completion of worship, which you will also get tonight, by the way. Nivri prepared the prasad this evening. She did it in Barbados and threw it down here. Hindu worship is never complete without the distribution of prasadam. And while prasad is usually something edible, such as fruit, in India they will give you sugar crystals, nuts, they might give you some sweet rice, or even a complete meal. It may also be a flower, drops of water, a sacred tulsi leaf, or vibhuti, as we get in Sai Baba's satsang. Prasad, however, is not a general term for that which is edible. An object becomes prasad, Balroop, when it is seen as coming from God. And when that perception results in a mental and emotional state of peace and well-being. The value of a gift comes from the gift giver, who in this case happens to be God. If I offer prasad to a family friend or a family member after my return from the temple with the explanation that this is prasad, his or her response will be one of joyful reverence and acceptance. One does not refuse or reject prasad. And it's sacrilegious in Hinduism to offer prasad for sale or commercialize it in any way. When we get prasad, we respond to prasad with a heart full of gratitude and with open palms. Isn't that right? The wonderful sense of being blessed, of being the recipient of God's gift that we experience when we receive prasad dissipates, however, soon after we leave the place of worship. We quickly return to our routines of our everyday life, forgetful of the gifts and presence of God. But prasad becomes an experience that is limited to the temple or the moment of worship. And it is as if we must now await another occasion to evoke that special feeling that prasad stirs within us. But prasad aims to develop within us a continuing consciousness of enjoying the gifts and blessings of God. In other words, everything we receive in life should be like prasad. Prasad is meant to be an entire view of life. It is an awakening to the generosity of God. And this awakening can occur if prasad or food reminds us of our enjoyment of the many other gifts of God. So the prasad received in the temple is symbolic of all the prasad we receive as gifts from God throughout our lives. And we can begin by reflecting on life itself, as we have done tonight, as the foremost of all gifts. The greatest gift, Bade Bhaga Manushyata Nupava. The greatest gift we have been given, for which we should be appreciative, is the gift of life. And all our scriptures, all religions, repeatedly remind us of the privilege of being human and being part of creation. Our parents, our husbands, our wives, our children, our friends, our good work, friendship and love are all examples of God's prasad. If you receive love from a friend, that's God's prasad. If you receive hate from someone, that's God's prasad too. But you have to know how to react to that. You know, my brothers and sisters, if a fig, a banana, can become priceless when we see it as prasad, how much more are the worth and value of these enhanced by seeing them as God's gift to us? And I close Balroop with this quotation from Tulsidas in Ayodhya Kand of Ramcharitamanas, where he describes the attitude of the devotee who experiences the world as the prasad of God. Balroop, I ask you as you go forward, I do this. And that's why I'm not disturbed in life. That everything that I receive, I say is prasad, God's gift. God's gift. I take the learning opportunity from it and I move on. I move on. That's the way to do it. If you let it depress you, you're going to have problems. Accept it as prasad, just like you accept prasad in the mandir. Prabhu prasad suchi subhaga subhasa sadara jasi lahai nitinasa. Tumhahi nivedita bhojana karahi Prabhu prasad patu bhushana dharahi. They reverently inhale the sweet and blessed odor of offerings made to God. Eat only that which has been offered to God, and wear clothes and ornaments consecrated to the Lord. The air that a devotee breathes is blessed and sweet because it is seen as a gift from God. All meals are understood as coming from God, and it's also true of clothes and ornaments. Since we create nothing, but only manufacture and use already existing materials in the creation, we may think of all that we possess and enjoy as ultimately coming from God. Our enjoyment of the world is therefore sanctified and purified when we understand its pleasures as the gift of God. Dhanyavad.
So just before we close this event, Nirvi has a few words to extend, but I would like to call on my youngest brother. He's here, Chandradat, to just say a few words on this particular occasion, and as I welcome you also, and your Nadia is there also, so please oblige and just to say a few words, then Nirvi will do the thank you remarks.
Nirvir's thank you remarks will come when I tell her.
Okay. So, Chan.
I did not see you there, my dog.
Thank you very much, Sitaram. Namaste, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight to celebrate together with Balroop on his on this special birthday occasion. Is it 70? Well, it was very pleasing and very wonderful to listen to some of Suraj's his discourse first of all, and some of the different aspects of community service and achievements that Balroop would have accomplished during, the past 70 years, and I could see that, he has done a lot for our community, and, by extension, Trinidad as a whole, because, as Suraj pointed out, they would have started this Sai Baba movement, and, they went to various parts of the country. And, he has done a lot, both in his sporting career and, community service, religion. So, we are truly blessed to have somebody like him in our community. So, again, on behalf of my family and, the rest of us here, Balroop, we would like to wish you a very happy birthday, and we would like to give praises for all you have accomplished and given to our community. Thank you very much.
So So Nirvi, you probably will talk while Ranju sets this up.
Well, not so much a thank you yet, but namaste and sitaram everyone. A very, very warm welcome. So happy to see all of you. Many of you I have not seen for a couple of years since I left. Tonight is a beautiful night, right, Dad? Good. Tonight we celebrate you, a night of gratitude. And really there's no greater way to express gratitude on such an auspicious occasion, a great milestone, as we all here gathered celebrating your 70th birthday tonight. I speak on behalf of both Amar and Pavi, and I know Pavi, Satya, and baby Ishan are all locked in and looking on from Canada. We miss them tonight, but I know they're here with us. Today and every day, Dad, we are truly grateful, all of us, your kids, and we are proud to call you Dad. I was shuffling through some photos, I think it was last night, and I saw some old photos in a box. I came across a trail of memories, some of which I was a part of, and others which gave me some more insight into your life prior to you starting a family. I looked at you in those photos, and I see a man who was definitely tall, sharp, and handsome. And I mean, look at him tonight. Give him a round of applause. 70 years, and still looking very handsome, charming, and glowing. Those photos definitely it told a story. I saw someone in you in those photos that is full of life, strong, assertive, brave, and confident. Always had a strong presence everywhere he went. And yet in you, I saw someone who is gentle, a gentle soul, is patient, kind, humble, and compassionate. When Pav, Amar, and I sat down and reflected, we started to think about what really sums up your life. What are the things, the people, the environment which makes you who you truly are? There was one photo that stood out to me. That was one of you holding Pav in arms, and Amar, Mom, and I on your side. And when I look at this photo, the theme that came to mind is commitment to family and friendships. You have been a pillar of strength to your family and also to your siblings, which you would have taken care of as they were growing up, and by extension, our own family as well. From your youth days, pushing through to develop yourself in your career, to starting a family of your own, you wasted no time in understanding the importance of keeping grounded and focused on providing and building a solid family life. I know I echo some of the words that Uncle Suraj said tonight. We didn't compare notes. You've never wavered in your commitment and dedication to us as kids, giving us a strong and solid foundation in life through education and exposure to sports and other activities. We will never forget the many hours and days you sacrificed to take us to dance class, tabla class, sporting events, after-school activities, and so many other community and cultural events. You taught us discipline, having structure, time management, leadership, independence, and the importance of being well-rounded kids. We will not forget the days when you chose to travel with us in the same maxi taxi, remember Uncle Poland's maxi, and the bus to school, when you could have simply taken your car and go to Port of Spain. Sometimes you never understand the value of a moment until you create that memory and you look back. And so in looking back at all those moments, you were driven by dedication and sacrifice to ensure our safety, our security, and well-being at all times. And for that, we say thank you, Dad. We admire your positivity and strength. I've never met someone who remains so positive and grounded, even in the face of adversity and challenging times. The people closest to you will tell you how quickly he can flip a negative situation and turn it into something truly positive. Your daily optimism and positive outlook on life is what we truly believe have kept you long young and healthy all these years. Growing up, we also truly admire your work ethic. You rarely missed a day's work, returning home tired from many hours of travel from Port of Spain, but yet having all the energy and time to give to us. We admire how well you were loved at the various ministries you served at. Your peers spoke so highly of you, and to this day, we still meet colleagues you work with who would tell us what an amazing co-worker and leader you were. It warms our heart, and Amara will tell you every time to hear someone say, your father was really a good man and really a good colleague. And these are the things that speak to your character. There were many other simple moments with you that we truly enjoyed and appreciated. From the many fun days to the beach, the many drives we took cross-country with you, the cricket matches you took us along to support you and the team and all of your brothers playing, the many satsangs and yajnas you took us to join Uncle Suraj and the Saraswati Kirtan Mandali, and the many crafty things you taught us to do as kids. And for those of you who don't know, since Dad has retired, he cannot sit still. He continues to develop himself, always looking for things in and around the house to do. He's a master of do-it-yourself. His playful stubbornness and reluctance to call a professional to check, fix, or construct something has made him into the ultimate jack of trades, of all trades. A good one. And while he has completed many DIY projects in things like tiling, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, they usually don't go without some hiccups, and I will share some little secrets with you tonight. Where is Nigel and Rishi? You all know this very well. Despite using a ruler, Dad still cannot draw a straight line on the first attempt. It will definitely take him a few tries. And despite using a level, he still can't hang a picture frame straight. Despite using a tape measure, he will still mark and cut a piece of wood short. And despite all of this, we got to love you for how funny those moments turn out to be. Despite all our best efforts to tell Dad how not to do it, he will do it exactly how he wants to do it, only his way. His favorite line that you would hear him say around the house, don't worry, that's good right there. In our home with your dad, there's always a little bit of crazy, a little bit of loud here and there, but a whole lot of love with you when we get together to do things like this. Dad values friendships, and you would always hear him say, I have a few good friends. And there's nothing he won't do night or day for the people that truly matters to him, and vice versa. Dad always believes in uplifting and elevating others. And through this, he would have formed many relationships throughout his lifetime. Even the bonds you share with your siblings and your brotherhood form through your over 50 plus years of friendship with the Chan clan, Ranju, right? This is certainly a testament to your sincerity and commitment to lifelong friendships. I want to turn over quickly to what I also theme passion and purpose, and this is through your commitment to community empowerment and your acts of seva, your selfless service and dedication to others. We've watched you over the many years giving your life in service to youth, community, religious, and sport development. And this is where we believe you have found your life's purpose. From your days as a young cricketer to giving service to the Vijay Sports and Cultural Club, your involvement and leadership at the Art Magyan Mandir, your many years you serve as narrator at the annual Ramlila celebrations, to the many Diwali celebrations you actually coordinated across communities, and even coordinating your own version of T20 night cricket, you have proven in so many ways that you are strong, innovative, and an influential community leader that many here can attest to tonight. That is so much we can say about you. Your journey is still ongoing, and there are so many memories and wisdom to create and share along the way. As kids, all now grown adults, we value the many lessons you've taught us. You are our Superman, our coach, our life mentor. We are truly blessed to have you in our lives. You've always continued to go above and beyond for our family and for many others. We are grateful for your unconditional love and sacrifices, and thank you for always sharing every bit of you. We love you, respect you, we value you, and cherish you. Most of all tonight, we are grateful to you for everything you have been and you are to us. You are a rare gem, and on this special day of your 70th birthday, we want nothing more than the best for you, everything that you deserve and your heart desires. We continue to pray for your health and your well-being and wish you many more years of bliss, peace, and happiness. To the world, Dad, you are a father, but to our family, you are the world. Happy birthday, Daddy. We love you.
I'm missing you these last few times by the boss for your singing and you and Uncle Auntie Emma. I hope you're doing good and I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday and hope you live to see many more and hope I see you soon back in our kitchen.
Hi Burj, Suzanne here. Can't believe you're turning 70 already, but you're still looking great. Anyhow, I'm wishing you a happy birthday and many, many more happy birthdays with Baba's choicest blessing to you and your family.
Greetings, Bush. Kenny from Canada here. Hope all is well with you and your family. Happy 70th birthday. May you enjoy good health, peace, and happiness. I pray that God's blessing be with you and all your dreams and wishes come true. All the best, my friend. Happy birthday. Happy 70th birthday.
Sitaram Buj, this is Satish here. I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday today, my friend, on this auspicious number. May Baba continue to bless you with many years of good health and happiness. Have a wonderful day, my friend. Blessings, blessings, blessings to you.
Hi, good morning. This is a message to Balroop, who we fondly know as Puja, who we have had the honor of knowing for well over 40 years. Puja, you have graced us with your esteemed presence by performing in all the religious functions, the most important milestones in our lives and in the lives of our children. We understand that you are crossing yourself a significant milestone, and for that, so we wish you all the best. May you forever be free of pain, and may you continue on the path of righteousness and wisdom. On my immediate right is my wife Vidya, who I'm almost certain would want to send some greetings. Madam?
Hi Bush, happy 70th birthday to you. I just want to wish you all the best and that you continue singing your melodious bhajans and continue making everyone happy. All the best to you.
And cheers. Bye.
Sitaram Balroop ji, Geeta and I are grateful for this opportunity to wish you a very happy 70th birthday and to pray for your long life, good health, and happiness. I have known you now for more than 5 decades. That's a very long time. Since we were both teenagers at the temple in Avocat. And I am privileged to have witnessed your growth and your maturity from your teenage years to a successful professional, a father, and now a grandfather. You have maintained faithfulness to the path of religion and spirituality. You have walked an ethical path of righteousness and exemplified deep commitment to your core ethical and religious value. Throughout your life, you've had a deep sense of commitment to your community, and we all acknowledge
the great contributions that you have made to the community, not only close to your place of birth, but throughout the island of Trinidad and even abroad. It has been and it is a privilege to know you as a friend, and more than a friend, as a brother. Let me also say that in Uma, you have found the right life partner. She has stood with you, she stands with you in all that you do, sharing your own commitments and supporting you in your manifold religious activities. You could not have found a better friend and a better life companion. So once again, let me take this opportunity on behalf of Gita to wish you well, Balroop. You deserve all the happiness and all the blessings that life has poured your way. And we look forward to our continuing journey with you. May God bless you richly and abundantly.
And I must thank Ranjana Balroop for putting this together. Folks, we have come to the end of a great night, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed sharing this evening with you, Nandini also. And I believe, Balroop, there's one thing I like to make a presentation to you. Yeah. And I'm doing several pictures, Balroop. Several pictures to place in this the annex to the shrine for a particular reason. But Nirvi said, chant, this is what he said? Chant clan. Chant clan.
You know, you're referring to Roopchan, Ramlochan, and Ramachan.
And I want to give you this little gift. Huh? Well, I'm gonna open it for him. See the way it's tied up here, I know how to open it. And now he can open the rest. It's a canvas, right?
These are, memory days that, this is the tree clan that Ranju we are referring to. So Indar and his family, Agani, myself, Omar, and Suraj. Suraj is not there?
Yeah. The darkest one.
So this is the tree clan that Nirvi was referring to. Thank you so much, Suraj.
So this will go in your house, but there it's going up in the annex here also.
Sure.
And there are several other pictures you saw there. We are putting them on canvas and of the group and so on. The whole history will be placed in the annex there. And so on.
So before you close, I just want to say a special thanks on behalf of myself and family for all that you all have supported us, not only in this particular event, but throughout. I want to thank Pandit Deepak Maharaj for his methodic way in conducting puja, and Suraj and his family, the generosity, the immense generosity behind putting all of this together to make such a wonderful evening for all of us. Again, and all of you who have responded to our invitation, thank you for joining. I will now hand over to Suraj.
Well, it remains for me to invite you to a sumptuous dinner. And I really do hope you're going to enjoy it. But before we do that, Panditji, would you just give us your closing blessings, and we'll then depart for dinner.
We want to thank Bhagwan for blessing us with this opportunity to have joined in this beautiful evening, which is still happening. And for all of the beautiful proceedings, we say to you, Prabhu, Tvameva Mata, Cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. In summing up the entire theme of all that was spoken, gratitude, that you are mother, you are father, you are friend, you are companion, you are everything, O Divine One. Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. May that peace be with us, be within the immediate environment, and spread to all different planes, those far beyond our control as well. May all places revel in that peace and bliss. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you again, and God bless you all.
Bholanath Shambho, Sainath Shambho,
Shambho Mahadeva, Shiva Shambho Mahadeva,
Shambho Mahadeva, Shiva Shambho Mahadeva,
Shiva Shambho Mahadeva,
Shiva Shambho Mahadeva,
Shiva Shambho Mahadeva,
Shiva Shambho Mahadeva.
It's an explosion of low prices this Christmas in Bright Ideas Christmas sale with 25% off flowers and Christmas flowers, 25% off curtains and